Alright, so I decided to try out this RGT quote-unquote steering thing. And so before I did this event, I just tried it in World a little bit, and it really seems more like lane selection. So at the beginning of the event, you'll see they've got collision detection turned off, so I was able to phase through some riders. And then you'll see here, when I start steering, it says auto avoidance is off due to manual steering. And that means if I come up behind somebody, it's not going to steer me around them. I'm just going to run right into the back of them and get stuck. So then you see the little chevron thing on the road. It's telling me what lane I've selected that my rider is going to go toward. And if it's red, it means I can't go there because there's somebody in the way or whatever. So I was just doing this with a keyboard to get a sense for what the game was going to do with it. You can see the bots just kind of move around very herky-jerky from one lane to the other, and you get stuck behind like this very easily. And then each avatar is just in a lane. So I guess theoretically, when you're racing, you could actually block people. You could go in front of them and force them to steer around you, which theoretically doesn't hold them back per se, but that's definitely a potential kind of dynamic that you could add to racing with real true blocking. But what seems odd is there's some number 16 or something lanes across the road, and once you're in a lane and you don't do anything, you just track straight as an arrow on that lane. So once we get to a switchback up here, you'll see I either track on the specific radius lane that I've selected, or I have to kind of click, click, click to switch lanes throughout the corner. So here you can see I'm moving to the outside, and then I'm going to dive on the inside of these bots who don't take the racing line. So, I mean, yeah, that's cool. It's too bad the bots don't know about the racing line. It kind of negates the purpose of having bots in races, in my opinion. But so, I don't know. It's not a total non-starter, but the discretized or quantized kind of lane selection feels pretty, I don't know, it feels pretty false to the way, certainly false to the way I ride a bike. I don't so much choose a lane or pick my line as I position myself on the road relative to other riders or relative to the wind. And I really don't know the right answer for video game lateral control of a cyclist. I think my personal preference would be some kind of mode selection where your rider generally takes the racing line, as I'm trying to select here, but has some modes relative to the group. Do you follow? Do you stay out of the draft? Do you try to form an echelon if there's wind? Do you try to protect your teammates? So rather than actually actively steering, you basically tell the game the decision-making rules you want to follow for your positioning. I mean, unless there's a really good standard way that's intuitive for steering, which I guess for me would kind of have to be some sort of lean, some sort of, I don't know, and even leaning doesn't feel quite right in reality. It's not so much leaning as maybe just a, I guess maybe if I had a front wheel riser block, kind of like a Sturzo, that didn't actually turn, you could just kind of nudge it from side to side and go click, click, click with some nudges of your handlebars from side to side. So it was pretty darn stiff and solid, but allowed you to kind of lean into your handlebars in one direction or lean into your handlebars in the other direction. Kind of a hybrid of a steer, rotational control and a lean control, but more of a just push, more force, no actual rotation of the handlebars. That might work for me. Just thinking about how this works and the way that I ride my trainer, I would want all the hand positions available. I really don't want to be fiddling with stuff with my fingers other than shifting. And it's not steering, it's choosing a line, it's angling the bike to turn. I mean, just look at the avatars leaning when you change lane. You're not clicking over in the lane. So I don't know. That's what I got for now. Interesting stuff.